Okay, let's talk about something I think everyone experiences. You're staring at that task, right? That big one. And you feel that pull to say, you know what, I'll do it later.
That familiar feeling.
Exactly. And later just stretches out, maybe forever. But what if it's not just about being lazy? What if there's some deep brain chemistry nudging you towards, I don't know, scrolling your phone instead?
Yeah, that's precisely what we're diving into.
Yeah, today we are really getting into the weeds on the brain chemistry behind motivation. And let's be honest, procrastination too. We're zeroing in on dopamine, not just the simple happy chemical label, but like its real complex role.
Right. Our mission today is to unpack what dopamine actually is, how it really steers our actions or choices, and yeah, how it can sometimes lead us down that procrastination path.
Okay.
And crucially, we want to give you some practical, natural ways straight from the sources we looked at to, support this system, help you break free from that loop and actually hit your goals without just burning out.
That's the key, right? Sustainable action. So whether you're, say, prepping for a big presentation or trying to finally learn guitar, or maybe you're just curious about how your own brain ticks, this deep dive should give you some real aha moments, a shortcut to being genuinely up to speed.
Let's do it.
All right, let's start right at the beginning. We hear dopamine thrown around all the time. But what is it fundamentally? What does it actually do day to day?
Okay, so fundamentally, dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Think of it as one of your brain's key chemical messengers. It's not some vague idea. It's a real molecule that's absolutely vital for a ton of things.
Like what specifically?
Well, it shapes your motivation, your ability to focus, how you learn new things, even basic stuff like coordinating physical movement. It's involved in a lot. But here's the really critical insight, especially for motivation and procrastination. Dopamine doesn't just spike when you get the reward. It spikes especially when you anticipate getting a reward.
Oh.
That anticipation, that feeling of, ooh, something good might happen if I do this, that's the real engine here. And that's why it's so tied into that I'll do it later feeling when a task doesn't promise that immediate hit.
So it's not so much about the party at the finish line, but more about the excitement of getting ready for the party, that expectation.
That's a great way to put it.
Exactly.
That forward-looking signal is incredibly powerful, and understanding where it comes from kind of highlights its reach. Dopamine is made in a few specific spots in the brain.
Right.
There's the substantia nigra that's really crucial for movement. When those neurons degenerate, that's what leads to Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
Then you've got the ventral tegmental area, the VTA. That's like Grand Central Station for your brain's reward and motivation circuits. Super important.
Okay, the reward hub.
And also the hypothalamus, which helps regulate hormones like prolactin, among other things.
Wow, okay. So it's produced in key areas controlling quite different functions.
Yeah, and your body actually makes it from scratch, essentially. It uses tyrosine, which is an amino acid you get from protein-rich foods. Think chicken, beans, eggs, nuts.
Still, it matters.
Absolutely. It's a two-step process. Tyrosine gets converted into something called L-dopa, and then L-dopa gets turned into dopamine. But it needs help. Things like vitamin B6, iron, even oxygen act as helpers or cofactors to make sure that conversion happens smoothly.
It's amazing how intricate that is, just for one chemical. So if dopamine is this powerful motivator, how does the brain stop it from, going haywire? How does it keep things balanced? Seems like it could easily get out of whack.
It is incredibly intricate, and yeah, the brain has some really clever ways to keep it in check. It's a finely tuned system.
How does that work?
Well, there are several layers. First, you have things called autoreceptors, especially the D2 type. Think of them like thermostats. They sense when there's enough dopamine floating around and basically tell the neuron, okay, ease up, don't release any more for now, prevents overload.
Okay, a feedback loop.
Exactly. Then there are reuptake pumps called D8. These are like tiny, super efficient vacuum cleaners. After dopamine does its job signaling to the next neuron, these pumps suck it back up into the first neuron to be reused later. Very tidy.
Recycling. Makes sense.
Yep. And on top of that, you have specific enzymes like MAO and COMT. Their job is to break down any excess dopamine that's hanging around. So if levels get too high, these enzymes step in to clean up.
Okay, multiple checks.
Right. And it's not just dopamine acting alone. Its activity is constantly influenced by other brain chemicals, serotonin, GABA, glutamate. They all interact in this complex dance.
Wow.
Even stress plays a role. Acute stress, like right before a deadline, can actually give you a temporary dopamine boost, that last-minute surge of focus.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
But chronic, long-term stress, that can actually deplete your dopamine over time. So it's a really delicate balance.
That really paints a picture. So what are the consequences then when this delicate system does get knocked off balance? What does it feel like if you have too little or, I guess, too much?
The impact is pretty significant. If your dopamine levels are consistently too low, you often see things like persistent fatigue, a real lack of drive or motivation, and like we mentioned with Parkinson's, problems with movement control. It's that feeling of being stuck in mud, sort of.
Yeah, that sounds draining.
Definitely. On the flip side, if you have too much dopamine activity, that can show up as impulsivity, maybe taking risks you wouldn't normally take, a higher susceptibility to addictive behaviors, and in more severe cases, it can even contribute to conditions like psychosis.
So extremes in either direction are problematic.
Absolutely. It really highlights how crucial finding and maintaining that sweet spot, that optimal balance really is for just feeling and functioning well.
Okay, that groundwork is super helpful. Let's make the connection really explicit. How does this chemical, dopamine, directly feed into that struggle so many of us have with procrastination, putting things off?
Right. This is where it gets really practical. Understanding the dopamine angle shows us it's not just about being lazy or lacking willpower. Your brain is basically wired to seek rewards efficiently. There's this 5-step cycle that the sources describe, which really explains dopamine-driven procrastination.
Okay, walk us through it.
So, step 1, you're faced with a task. Maybe it's boring, maybe it feels stressful, maybe it just looks huge and overwhelming.
Yep, been there.
Step 2, your brain does a quick calculation. It figures out that the effort needed for the specific task is high, but the reward seems far off, or maybe not that exciting. So in dopamine terms, it's a low immediate payoff. Not very tempting.
Makes sense. It doesn't see the quick win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So step 3, you instinctively seek distraction. Your brain goes searching for something, anything, that offers an instant dopamine hit. That could be scrolling social media, grabbing a sugary snack, checking email, even doing a quick, easy chore instead.
The path of least resistance for a dopamine hit.
Precisely. Step 4, this reinforces the avoidance. Getting that quick, easy reward for not doing the hard task makes your brain go, see, avoiding was good. It strongly reinforces that pattern, making you more likely to do it again next time.
Oh, that's insidious.
It really is. And then step 5, stress eventually builds. The task is still there, looming. Often, it's only when the deadline gets terrifyingly close and you get that surge of stress hormones like adrenaline that you're finally forced to push through and do it.
The last-minute panic mode.
Exactly. It's a really powerful self-reinforcing loop.
So, okay, it's genuinely not a character flaw. It's our brain's reward system literally saying, nope, give me the fast, easy dopamine, not that slow, hard-earned stuff. That feels liberating somehow to understand.
It is. Recognizing the underlying biology takes away some of the self-blame, you know? It's a survival mechanism, really conserving energy, seeking immediate rewards. It's just not always helpful in our modern world. And just to clarify roles quickly, think of it like this. Dopamine is about the drive, the motivation. It gets you out of bed to chase breakfast.
Right.
Serotonin is more about mood, contentment. It helps you enjoy the breakfast once you have it. They work together, but dopamine is that engine of pursuit.
That's a really clear distinction. Okay, so we see how it drives everyday procrastination. But where does this system go seriously off the rails? Thinking about bigger problems like addiction.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the same pathways that get hijacked. Things like cocaine, meth, even nicotine and alcohol, they don't just nudge dopamine levels, they cause an artificial flood. A massive surge that the brain's natural system just isn't equipped to handle.
Way beyond a natural reward.
Oh, completely. It creates this incredibly intense, immediate feeling of reward that overwhelms everything else, basically short-circuiting the normal process.
And does this apply to things beyond substances? The commons.
Absolutely. That's a key point in today's world. Think about digital addictions, the endless scroll on social media, the constant pings of notifications, those super immersive video games. They are often designed, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes very intentionally, to tap into and exploit these exact same dopamine reward pathways.
Oh.
They offer constant novelty, unpredictable rewards like seeing who liked your post, or finding a rare item in a game which keeps delivering these little dopamine hits, making it really hard to disengage. It hijacks your attention system.
Wow. So what does that do to us long term? Constantly flooding or artificially stimulating these pathways. Doesn't sound good for, normal motivation.
You're right. It's a major concern. Over time, this constant artificial overstimulation can actually make your dopamine receptors less sensitive. It's like they get worn out or downregulated. Your brain basically builds a tolerance.
So you need more stimulation to feel anything.
Exactly. Or, perhaps more commonly, normal, everyday activities. Things that require sustained effort, like working on a project, reading a book, having a deep conversation they start to feel, well, dull, less rewarding, less appealing compared to that easy, high-intensity digital hit.
And that feeds right back into procrastination, right?
Precisely. It makes it even harder to start those effortful tasks because your brain's baseline for what feels rewarding has been artificially shifted upwards. You start craving only the big, easy hits.
Okay, that connects a lot of dots. So the million-dollar question then, how do we fight back? How can we naturally support our dopamine system so it works for us again, helps us build that sustainable motivation, and maybe even resensitize things a bit?
Great question. And the encouraging news is, yes, there are many practical, natural strategies we can use based on the research we reviewed. We can break them down into a few key areas.
All right, let's hear them. Action plan time.
Okay, first up, nutrition. You literally need to feed your dopamine production line.
Makes sense. We talked about tyrosine.
Exactly. So focusing on protein-rich foods, eggs, chicken, fish, beans, lentils, nuts, gives you those tyrosine and phenylalanine building blocks. Also crucial are the helpers. Vitamins B6, B12, folate, and minerals like magnesium, zinc, iron. Make sure you're getting enough of those.
Okay, so a balanced diet is key.
Definitely. And omega-3s found in fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts seem important too. On the flip side, try to limit ultra-processed foods, lots of sugar, and excessive saturated fat, as they can potentially disrupt healthy dopamine function.
Got it. Fuel the system properly. What's next?
Lifestyle. Your daily habits make a huge difference. Sleep is non-negotiable.
Why sleep specifically?
Quality sleep seems essential for resetting dopamine receptors, basically restoring their sensitivity. So if you're chronically sleep deprived, your whole system is likely out of whack.
Right. Sleep first.
Then exercise.
Yeah.
Regular physical activity is fantastic. It boosts dopamine release and seems to increase the density of dopamine receptors. So you get more dopamine and your brain gets better at using it.
Win-win.
Totally. Also, getting natural sunlight exposure, especially in the morning, helps regulate dopamine. And actively seeking out novelty, learning new things, trying new experiences that naturally stimulates dopamine pathways in a healthy way, keeps things fresh.
Okay, nutrition, sleep, exercise, sunlight, novelty. Makes sense. What about mental strategies? Can we, train our brains?
Yes, absolutely. This is about consciously working with your reward system. A big one is breaking down big goals, that huge project that feels overwhelming. Chop it into tiny, manageable steps.
Why does that work?
Because each time you complete a small step and check it off, you get a little dopamine hit. It makes progress feel real and rewarding, building momentum instead of triggering that avoidance response.
Many rewards along the way. I like that.
Exactly. Another cool technique is temptation bundling. You pair something you want to do, a high dopamine activity, with something you need to do but find boring, a low dopamine task.
Give me an example.
Like maybe you only allow yourself to listen to your favorite podcast while you're cleaning the house or doing data entry, or save that special coffee for when you sit down to tackle your emails.
Linking the reward directly to the chore. Clever.
Yeah. You can also gamify things. Use habit trackers, checklists, set streaks for yourself. Making progress visible and measurable taps into that reward circuitry. And practicing gratitude and mindfulness can help too. It shifts your focus towards appreciating smaller, everyday rewards, making you less reliant on needing huge achievements for a dopamine hit.
Appreciating the small wins.
And finally, consciously delay distractions. Make a deal with yourself. I'll focus for this block of time, then I can check my phone or watch a video. Earn the reward after the effort.
Okay, those are really practical mental shifts.
Yeah.
Anything else? I think the sources mentioned supplements.
They did mention a few as potentially supportive. Things like L-tyrosine, the building block, rhodiola rosea, an adaptogen, L-theanine from green tea, and maybe probiotics for gut health, which connects to the brain. But, these are optional. It's always best to focus on diet and lifestyle first and talk to a professional before starting supplements.
Right, foundation first. Good disclaimer. Was there a final category?
Yes. Social and emotional boosters. Don't underestimate these. Things like laughing, genuinely connecting with friends or family, physical touch like hugs, These are powerful, natural dopamine enhancers.
Connection matters.
Hugely. And pursuing goals that feel genuinely meaningful and purposeful to you provides a much deeper, more sustainable kind of dopamine reward than just chasing fleeting pleasures. Also, creative outlets, listening to music you love, dancing, playing an instrument, these activities reliably stimulate dopamine in a healthy way.
Wow, okay. That is a really comprehensive toolkit. Nutrition, lifestyle, mental tricks, social connection. Lots to work with. For someone listening who feels a bit overwhelmed, maybe could you boil it down? Like a super simple daily routine to just get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's try a quick daily dopamine routine, just a few anchors.
Perfect.
Morning, try to get some sunlight soon after waking up, even just 5–10 minutes outside. And have a breakfast with some decent protein in it.
Okay. Sunlight, protein.
Midday. If possible, take a short walk or do some kind of quick movement break. Get the blood flowing, get that little exercise boost.
Walk at lunch. Got it.
Afternoon. When you're working, really try to break tasks down. Use a checklist, even for small things, and physically tick them off. Make the progress visible.
Check.
Evening. Maybe put on some music you enjoy while making dinner, or take a few minutes to jot down something you're grateful for, or make a point to connect with someone, partner, friend, family.
Nice. Wind down connection.
And then night. This is crucial. Prioritize your sleep. Aim for consistency. Dark room, cool temperature. Try to wind down beforehand. Let those receptors reset.
Sunlight, protein, walk, checklists, connect, sleep. That feels doable.
Totally. Small hinges swing big doors.
Love that. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the single biggest takeaway? If someone remembers just one thing about dopamine from our chat, what should it be?
I think the core idea is that dopamine isn't just about feeling happy constantly. It's fundamentally about drive and balance.
Drive and balance.
Yeah. Too little and you feel stuck, like we said, no motivation. But chasing too much, especially from easy artificial sources, leads to burnout, desensitization, and ironically makes it harder to find joy in normal life.
So it's not about maximizing it, but optimizing it.
Exactly. It's about understanding how your own system works and then using these natural strategies, diet, lifestyle, mindset, connection, to support it. When you do that, you're not just fighting procrastination more effectively, you're building a foundation for sustainable energy and motivation for the things that actually matter to you.
Building sustainable motivation for things that matter. That's powerful.
It's about aligning your biology with your goals, really.
Okay, fantastic. So let's leave our listeners with this thought. What's one slow, meaningful reward? Maybe a project, learning something new, a personal goal that you've been putting off. The kind of thing that feels a bit daunting now, but you know would make a real difference. And think about it. What's just one small, dopamine-friendly step you could take this week, maybe even today, to move just a tiny bit closer to it?